Teaching science as inquiry is a relatively new approach to teaching and learning for students. It refers to the activities through which students develop knowledge and understanding of specific ideas, as well as the understanding of how scientists study the natural world. Inquiry is the process of organizing what we know and what we'd like to know. Students create models of what they are learning, and they seek evidence to prove what they have learned. Finally, they construct models and use their evidence to argue various theories and results. Since teaching science as inquiry is a relatively new approach for teachers and students, people really want to know why it's important. Science inquiry helps us understand and shape our daily lives. It helps us as we interact with our environment, asking questions and seeking answers. In our labs that we're going to talk about in a little bit, you will see that students develop that opportunity to both seek answers and develop questions. Effective learning requires that students take control of their own learning. Students develop the ability to apply knowledge in situations and transfer that learning into real-life situations, which is what we do in the following labs. To help parents gain a better understanding of science as inquiry, our district and school provide various resources. We have teacher presentations at Back to School Night, which will be in August. Letters from administrators and district leaders are sent home. In April, we have a STEM night where students can show off all the great things they've been doing in their science classes. And we also provide printed articles explaining science as inquiry for parents to read up on. I wanted to give you just a few glances at some of the fun inquiry labs that we do in our 8th grade science class. This is our Layers of the Earth Density Lab. Without giving too much away, I can tell you that the students are presented with 4 different types of mystery liquids. Their job is to layer them, and you can see as the one drops to the bottom, it will show which layer is most dense and which layer is least dense. Here is an example of the lab sheet the students will fill out during the density lab. As you can see, they make predictions and ask questions based on their findings. As you can see, this is a great example of science as inquiry. Students organize their thoughts and make predictions on what they want to know. Students then create a physical model and a drawing model of what they have learned. They then seek the evidence to prove what they are learning, which is which liquids are least and most dense. Finally, they are able to construct an argument using our evidence to argue various theories and results. This is a great lab for learning the rock cycle. In order for this to follow the science as inquiry model, students will also make predictions on what they think will happen and then compare the results to other groups. They will then interpret and ask questions based on the various results. One of our favorite inquiry labs we do is during our water cycle lab. As you can see, students will distinguish between point and non-point source pollution. They recognize that everyone contributes to and is responsible for a river or lake's water quality. And they will also identify best practice management to reduce pollution. Like I said before, I don't like to give away too much or provide pictures on this lab, as students are always fascinated by the end product and the effects pollution has on our water system. Another activity during our water cycle unit is the water cycle game. Students will role play and go on an adventure throughout the water cycle. In this game, students first write predictions on what they think will happen to a water droplet after it is consumed. They then move through various stops of that consumed water by rolling their dice. What is great about this activity is that the students realize water doesn't go through a step-by-step cycle, and where it travels is based on numerous situations. At the end of the game, the students write a travel log from the viewpoint of the water droplet. They are also required to create what-if questions, thinking about what would have happened to the droplet if it took a different path. I have provided a couple of journal articles for further explaining science as inquiry. Remember, our goal is for students to develop a knowledge and understanding of scientific ideas by asking and by doing. If you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to ask. And thank you for your time and your commitment to your students' learning.